Hey guys, I'm a Dimension Jumper. Today I'll be doing my top 5 favourite Mega Evolved Pokemon from Pokemon X and Y. Now, since Pokemon X and Y introduced the whole battle, like extra battle mechanic with Mega Evolution and then Sun and Moon onwards, always had to have a new, different version. I think everyone can agree that Z moves, Gigantamax, Turtleization hasn't really hit the same sort of way as Mega Evolution, because that feature in X and Y is so cool, and as I said in previous videos, I think that Mega Evolution does bring in or breathe new life into old Pokemon, and they give them new forms, sometimes different typings depending on the Pokemon that changes form. And I think it's a really cool feature just to play around with when it comes to the fights and stuff. And this in this video, I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite Mega Evolved Pokemon in Pokemon X and Y. Even though there's not a huge amount, I think that with Oras and Legends Z-A, they do bring the whole total up by a whole lot, because I think there's like 28 Mega Pokemon in X and Y, so it's like it's good. It's a good handful, but it's like, compare that to the ones we have now, if you combine that total with Oras and Legend Z-A. So yeah. So for number 5 is Mega Abomasnow. Now, what I like about this is that it's I think Abomasnow as a Pokemon is a really cool looking Pokemon. I do like the whole like ice grass typing that he has going on, but with his Mega form, he grows to the size of like a building, or like a house or something, and what it means is like he's big, he grows larger, and I do like how his form, he gets like these two giant ice pillars sticking out of his back, and his fur kind of goes more, kind of like it's more spiky and stuff like that, and he's like now on all fours because of how large he is, and that's really cool. And I think when it comes to Mega Evolution, I think for me personally, one of the things that a Pokemon should have, depending on the one, is probably presence, as well as like intimidation, depending on the Pokemon that can Mega Evolve. And I think Abomasnow, when he does Mega Evolve, I think he does have the presence and the intimidation, and it's really cool looking. And I think I said this in my Pokemon X and Y video, or my Pokemon X and Y Let's Play, that Wolfric, who's the final gym leader in Pokemon X and Y, should have had a Mega Abomasnow. I do know he does have one in the show, but in the game, it would have been a lot cooler if he did have one as like his ace and as his final Pokemon to do that. But as a whole, Mega Abomasnow is really, really cool. So yeah. For number 4 is Mega Bayonet. Now with Mega Bayonet, it's really cool because he takes the sort of like puppet design of Bayonet and make it a lot creepier, because with this design for Bayonet, he's got like zippers all over his body, and those zippers have these sort of like weird tendril hand things coming out of it, and I think that's really cool. And because Bayonet as well as Mega Bayonet are both ghost types, it does really add to that sort of creep factor to Bayonet as a whole, and it just like has that more of like a puppet sort of design sort of thing. So yeah, it's really cool, and it's really, really creepy. I think it would have been a lot cooler if he had the dark typing maybe to it, to make it. I think, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I think Mega Bayonet, it would have been a whole lot cooler if he had the additional dark type. So yeah. For number 3 is Mega Charizard X and Y. Now, when it comes to these two, I think it's hard to talk about one over the other. And I think Mega Charizard X and Y are really cool Pokemon or designs because I'm going to first talk about Mega Charizard Y and then I'll move on to Charizard X because with Charizard Y, he keeps a similar sort of color scheme, but he's got like this like sort of like more jagged wings and stuff like that. And I think he grows like these sort of fin things, I believe, if I remember correctly, and they are also jagged. And his horns are more jagged as well, and I think part of his face is more jagged like, and I think that's on the sort of intimidate. For me, I think Charizard Y had the intimidation, like always like this really cool, intimidating looking fire flying type, and that's really cool. I do like how he keeps his color scheme. That's quite cool. But I think Charizard X is a whole lot better than Charizard Y. Even though Charizard Y is cool, I think Charizard X does have that sort of huge presence and intimidation. I think he's more presence than intimidation, but mainly because Charizard X has this like sort of like has this basically a black and blue color scheme, and then it even includes his fire because his fire is also blue when he uses moves like flamethrower and stuff like that, and he actually becomes a dragon type. He becomes a fire dragon type, and that's really, really cool. And I do like how Charizard finally gains the dragon type, even though he is a fire flying type, and even though he gets the dragon type through Mega Evolution, I still do really like how he has the dragon type because he does look like an intimidating looking dragon when it comes to his design and stuff. So like, it's basically just really cool. For number 2 is Mega Gardevoir. Now, with Gardevoir's Mega form, I think it looks, out of all the other ones that X and Y brought in when it comes to the Mega Evolved Pokemon, Gardevoir's one is a lot more elegant because her dress becomes a lot larger, and I think, and it basically makes her look more like a ballroom dancer, and I think that's why I feel like it's sort of like, I feel like that's why she has more of an elegant presence to her when she mega evolves, and yeah, I think it's really cool, and I think it's, and then it really adds to her typing as well because Gardevoir, she's a fairy and psychic type. She used to be a psychic type, but since X and Y, Gardevoir was given the fairy typing, so her mega form does help to her typing as well as her design, and yeah, it looks really cool and looks really stunning, and yeah, it's just really cool, and it feels like she can just dance around any opponents when she does become Mega Gardevoir. So yeah, as a whole, Mega Gardevoir is really cool and one of the more elegant designs. And for number 1 is Mega Lucario. Now, with Lucario's Mega form, I think he's one of my favourites to come out of the whole Mega Evolution thing. And I do really like how he exudes a lot more aura, and that's pretty much, I think, a sort of paraphrase description of his dex entry, because one of the things I do like about Legends Z-A is that you can look at the dex entries for all of the Mega Evolved Pokemon, so you can look at the ones for Charizard, Mewtwo, the Carlos starters, the starters you get for at the start of the game, so Emboar, Feraligatr, and Chikorita's one. A Meganium, there we go, Meganium. And they all give you different descriptions of those Pokemon when they Mega Evolve. And with the Lucario's one, it's pretty much he exudes a lot more aura and he emits a lot more of it. And that's really cool because a lot of those dex entries are based either on the Pokemon design when they Mega Evolve, or something that's key to them personally when they Mega Evolve. And that's really cool. And I think that's really cool when it comes to Lucario, because he's just emitting a lot more aura when he Mega Evolves. And I do like how that Mega Lucario, when he does become Mega Lucario, he's a force to be reckoned with. And yeah, it's really cool. And I do like how his design is a lot more cooler. It's just because his hair things that he has on the back of his head, they grow longer, and I think he gets more fur as well, which is quite cool. And yeah, and I think he gains spikes around his hands, which is really cool as well, which adds to his steel typing, which is really cool. So yeah, as a whole, I think Mega Lucario is probably one of my all-time favourites Mega Evolved Pokemon, and whenever I replay Pokemon X and Y, I always catch a Riolu to become a Lucario, and then always have that particular Lucario become Mega Lucario, which is really cool. So yeah, so that's been my top 5 favourite Mega Evolved Pokemon from Pokemon X and Y. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.